All right, everybody, welcome to Azreia, not another lunch and learn. We're here at Azreia. We are always here to support your real estate investing career through networking, building relationships, education. So thanks for being here today. This is going to be a weekly event that we do at 12 o'clock Arizona time every week, no charge. We're going to have a new guest speaker. We're starting off with our business associates to talk about their perspective areas of expertise. This week we have Greg Slaughter talking about, he has a presentation he's to give us on how he networked to 100. Well, Greg, networked to 100,000, right? So is that something you must have done?
Yeah, I did it. I started, I put it together at the end of 2015, did it as an experiment, and then I tracked everything in 2016 and actually gave this exact, I created a presentation on exactly how I did that and shared it in 2017, and I'm resharing that, and I'm going to share some updated stats since then.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. And I was talking to the team, and it's just like, hey, we're a networking organization, relationship building organization. I praise at least 33% of my deals a year through relationships outside of marketing and texting and all this crazy stuff. So I think people can make a living just off of networking. And I was like, who better to have Greg, share that with us. So we'll get back to you in a moment here. If anyone, a lot of Azreia's marketing is through email, right? Texting. So just keep in mind, everybody, we are on all the social media platforms. We have a few of them at the bottom of the screen. So Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, we're everywhere. So just search Azreia, give us a follow. Just another way for all of us to communicate with each other. If you're new to Azreia and this is the first time you're ever on here, just want to kind of go over, we have two membership options. It's $100 a year, maybe it's like $8 or $9 a month it tallies out to. And if you're not going to be that active and not go to all the meetings that we offer, this gives you an opportunity to join for $100, but you'll pay $5 or $10 depending on the meeting to go as you go at your own pace. Then if you are going to be highly active member, that's $239 a year. So it's roughly $20 a month, and you get to go to all the networking events for free in our main Phoenix Real Estate Club, the main monthly meeting. So we'd love to have you part of Azreia to help grow your real estate investing business. So one of the main components and benefits, we have so many national and local benefits to offer, which you can find on our website. But the main thing here is if you're flipping, you're landlording, whatever it may be, you're going to Home Depot, someone on your team's going to Home Depot. So you get 2% back on all your purchases, which you won't find anywhere else. We have one of the best relationships and discounted programs in the nation with Home Depot through the national RIA. So, take advantage of that, pay 20% off all your liquids. We have an appliance program, 10% off your cabinets. So, one turn on a rental and you paint the inside, you got your membership back just right there. So make sure you have your Home Depot set up if you're a current member. And we could always help you out at the front desk if you have any questions. Every month we have our main Phoenix meeting. That is August 8th. We just had our this Monday was our July's meeting, but next month we'll be back in person at Venue 8600 in North Scottsdale. It's at the Scottsdale Association of Realtors. We do our extensive market update, market news. We let you know what's going on around Azreia. Obviously, our trade shows there with all our business associates. Use about 15 to 25 of them show up. You get to meet everyone in person, ask questions, and then we always have an educational piece, which is a Jack Bosch, which I'll talk about here in a moment. Then at the next day, Tuesday, August 9th, we do the same setup. We go right down to Tucson for our Tucson members, do the same meeting. And then, as always, what we like to say is we'd like everyone to come to the Phoenix Real Estate Club. It's here at the office on 16th Street in Highland. And when you're at the main meeting, we give you a lot of education, a lot of market updates. So we kind of put a lot of information, towards you. So what we like to say, we invite everyone to come to the office on the fourth Tuesday of the month, and this will allow you to allow all of us to have a discussion about the market. We go over your deal, so all the active investors stand up and they tell you exactly what kind of deal they are doing at that time, whether it's they just got on their contract, they just closed it. These kind of walk you through the experience. And what you'll notice is there's such an eclectic group of investors from mobile home, lending, single family, short-term rental. You just get this wide variety of deals that happen within our community. So it's very awesome to see. Obviously, we break out into power networking, groups of 3 or 4, get to know each other, build a little bit stronger relationships. We do the haves and wants portion. You get the opportunity to stand up and let everybody know what you have for sale, or if you're in the trades business, let us know what type of service you offer, and what you're looking for. What do you need for your business? And it's a great mastermind of about 50 people that have been. Pre-COVID, Alan was at 80 to 100. After COVID, we started off around 30 people coming. Now we hit about 55, 60 people last month. So it's definitely getting back. So very excited that that's happening. So encourage everyone to show up on the 4th Tuesday. Like I said, Jack Bosch will be with us next month at the Monday and Tuesday meeting, but he's also going to hang out with us on Saturday, August 13th, all day here at the office. So you get the day to learn how to flip lots and land. Jack's going to show you how to, wholesale it for quick cash. He's also going to show you how to, leverage the homeowner through seller carrybacks and to get monthly cash flow and your down payment back. So he'll be with us all day, Saturday, August 13th, 9 to 5 here at the office. And then if you choose to go to Saturday, you can go to this event on Wednesday, what we call a drill down. It's 2 hours here at the office as well. Jackson go a little bit further and deeper into seller financing. So that strategy within itself potentially is always useful throughout your career. It's a good tool to have in the toolbox. And he's going to show you how to do that with land. So he'll be with us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday. So we'd love to have you there. And I wanted to show this slide because we are talking about networking, right? Azreia is about networking and relationship building. So I just wanted to show you some of the things that we have going on. These events happen every single month on the same day and time and location, every month reoccurring. We have volunteer real estate investors that are active in the business, no less than 5 years. They're very experienced. They spend their time every month to host a networking event and educational time for all of us to get together. So if any of these resonate with you, or you're trying to get exposed to everything about real estate, just go to azreia.org/calendar and you can register for any of these events. And Greg's going to show us how to master our time at these events. As always, I bring up the Azria Show. My co-host Marcus Maloney and I, we're on episode 32. I think actually no, one more just came out, so we're at 33. We had 10 in the queue ready to go out. So we've rolled this out weekly. It used to be bi-weekly. So now all podcast platforms, whether it's Google Play, Apple, Spotify, we're on everything. And you could even watch the recording of it on YouTube as well. So every Friday morning, a new episode comes out. Last but not least, which Greg is on our podcast, that came out already as well, right? So Greg, right, did we launch I'm pretty sure, yeah, yours launched, man.
Did it? Oh,
yeah.
I know we did it, but I don't know if it launched. I honestly don't know. So
I have to check the schedule. Well, anyways, you're gonna get to know Greg a little bit better today and on the podcast. Here's his slideshow. Greg, I know I have like 1 or 2 emails for you, so I didn't put, I'm sure at the end of the call, you can put all your contact information out there for us. But we have Greg Slaughter. He's here to talk with us for the hour, all about networking to $100,000. So Greg, I am going to let you take it from here. If you'd like to take control of the screen, or tell us about yourself, who you are, what you do. Besides being a long-time veteran Azreia member, very successful landlord and a real estate investor, kind of maybe you could dive into the details for us.
Yep, absolutely. I'll go through this. This is actually, for those of you that just logged in, I'm going to let you guys know, I actually put this together as a class that I taught back in 2007. A one-time basis, I taught back in 2017. And how this originated was that I was networking and I wasn't seeing the results that I liked. So towards the end of 2015, I decided to put some systems into networking and kind of more or less turn it into a part of my business. And I'm going to share with you exactly what I did. That's what today is about. And what I found out is, and I tracked all of the results, and at the end of 2016, I had made literally over $100,000 in 1 year just from networking. And so I put this together, taught it as a class 2017 to a group of people that was in my group and shared the results. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go through the same exact presentation I did in 2017. However, I made a few minor updates to it because I can share with you what has happened since that time with continuing to do the networking. And honestly, it was flabbergasting to me. So I'm going to let the results speak for themselves. So I'm not going to ruin the surprise, but if you hang out to the end, I'll show you exactly what those results are. So let's get into this. First of all, I got to give my disclaimer because when I talk about this stuff, my attorney makes me give disclaimers anywhere and everywhere I go. So I'm not an attorney, I'm not a CPA, I'm not a guru. So, take it for whatever it's worth. I'm just sharing my personal opinions and experiences. So I just want to put that out there. Okay, my attorney is now happy. All right, so I'm going to take a couple minutes. Bear with me. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and there is a method to my madness. So just hang with me for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm going to go through this story, and then you're going to understand completely why I'm sharing this in about 15 to 20 minutes. You're going to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing right now, because this does come into the content that I'll be sharing. So I was actually born and raised in Tucson. I grew up there. I'm an Arizona native. I've been married to my wife we're coming up on our 25th wedding anniversary, actually in November. So we've been 25 years. Unfortunately, we lost our child. We lost our daughter, Narissa. And I lost another daughter, Ashley, prior to that. So I've lost 2 daughters and unfortunately have no children. And to help fill that void, we volunteer for the Big Brother, Big Sister organization. So I do have a little brother. I picked him up when he was 7 years old, and he graduated from the program. He's now 22 or 23. I'm very health oriented, so I like health. I'm a huge Tony Robbins Master University fan. For those of you who know what Tony Robbins is, I think that's the best investment I ever made. I tell everybody and have told everybody this for years. I've bought and sold millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate, but the best $10,000 investment I ever made was Tony Robbins. I have hobbies. My hobbies are traveling. I love to travel and see the world. I love to people watch, anything outdoors, and I'm a huge college sports fan, and I love helping and inspiring others. So that's on the personal side. On the professional side, I come from corporate America. I was in corporate America for 19 years with McDonald's Corporation. And I started off running my own McDonald's when I was 19 years old. And when I retired in 2002 from there, I was responsible for the southwestern part of the United States for all the McDonald's franchisees and their management teams. I was also Stephen Covey facilitator. I got my first rental property in 1999. I've been doing real estate full-time since 2002. And since then, I've basically, from 2002 through 2006, I started doing some flips. I started doing lease options, creative financing, rehab, started a real estate team. And in 2006, I thought I was retired, had about a $1.5 million net worth, and thought we were cool. My wife and I went on a vacation in Europe for a month and came back, and that's when Armageddon hit. So we basically lost everything. We tried to survive by doing short sale flips from 2007 through 2009. We ended up filing for bankruptcy in 2010, and we had to start over literally from nothing. So we went from thought we were retired to having to borrow money from our parents to get a security deposit to rent a small, tiny house. Since then, I have basically done a lot of creative financing. I've done hundreds of flips. I invest out of state. I own a lot of free and clear rentals now. I've done turnkeys. I basically live off my passive income now. And what I do now is I share my experiences and inspire others. And I'm actually here now in my Indiana office. So again, all this will come into play, I promise you, in just a couple of minutes. So there is a reason why I went through all that stuff. So enough about me. Let's start talking about you guys and how you can generate $100,000 annually through networking. So what I want to do is, let's first talk about how people typically network. This is normally how people network. And I know this because this is what I did. I see it every time I go to a network meeting. And I know that 99% of people, this is exactly how they network. First of all, they only network when they need something or they want something. So it's like, I need or want money, so I'm going to go network. Or I have money and I need to get rid of it, so I'm going to go network. I need deals, so I'm going to go network. Or maybe I need to go learn something new, so now I'm going to go network. So they always go there for a reason that they have to network for. So that's pretty much what got them there in the first place, was their own personal needs. When they get there, then the goal seems to be to go meet as many people as you can. So if you're in a room of 50 people, they're going to go try to go meet 10, 15, 20 people. And they do one of two things. They go there with a bunch of business cards, handing it out to everybody, trying to meet everybody. So handing out the card, or they're trying to collect everybody's card, right? And it's almost like the game is to see how many people we can meet, how many cards I can collect. That's pretty much what everybody does. Then they leave the network meeting. They feel good about it because, hey, I got a handful of cards, or I handed out a handful of cards. I feel really good. And then they wait, and then they go to the next network meeting. Would that be a fair assessment of how most people network? Would everybody agree with that? I see a couple heads nodding, so I think everybody is in pretty much agreement. So let me ask you this. What kind of results are you getting with that? So what are you actually doing with all those business cards or those contacts that you're collecting? So are they sitting in a cabinet drawer like this, where you just have a pile of them, of business cards? This is just from the last 2 years of going to networking events here in Indiana that people have personally handed me. So my guess is most of you have something similar where you have a bunch of business cards. So, but the question is how much business have you actually done with these cards? How many of these people have you actually called? How many of these people have actually called you? Like if you went through your cards or your contacts in your phone, or do you ever come to a point like, who is this person? I don't even know who this person is. Or are they going to do the same thing to you, right? So my question is, how is this working out for you? Is this generating $100,000 a year networking the way you're doing it right now? It doesn't work, guys. And here's the thing. That's how not to network. So if that's what you're doing, and if you're doing what everybody else is doing, you get to get the same exact results that everybody else is getting. And that's basically no results. I mean, you may get some results here and there, but you're getting it simply by complete accident because you're there at the right spot at the right time and you needed that. What I'm here to tell you today is to scrap what you're doing, and I'm going to show you exactly how to stop doing that and start doing what works and will generate over $100,000 for you in the next 12 months if you listen to what I'm going to share with you right now. So how to generate $100,000. Okay, first of all, for a definitions point of view, so we're all on the same page, networking to me is face-to-face. So it's not over Zoom. Like, this is not networking. This is learning and teaching. This is not networking. Networking is face-to-face. There's a couple reasons for that. Number one is right now in today's world, people are starving for it. So it's even more important to network face-to-face. Number two is we don't have enough time to go through this today. This could be an entire different course or whatever, or talk, but 70, depending upon the studies that you look at, between 70 to 93% of all communication is nonverbal. So it's not the words you're saying, it's your tone of voice, it's your speed of your communicating, it's your hand gestures, it's your body language. That is 70 to 93% of communication. So enabled to do what I'm going to share and teach you today, you have to be face-to-face with somebody to be successful at this. So I just want everybody to know this is face-to-face networking. So you got to get to networking events like Azria. You got to get yourself there when they're doing it live in person. You got to get yourself there and meet with people live, right? I'm also going to make some assumptions that everybody on here, generally speaking, is an entrepreneur, or you're a business owner, or you want to be an entrepreneur or a business owner. And because of that, most, if not all of you, are doing some sort of marketing. So either you're marketing on social media, you're marketing online, you're marketing on mailings, postcards, maybe you're doing the text, whatever it is, TV, radio, you're doing some sort of marketing. The reason I'm going to make that assumption is because I'm going to use that analogy, and I'm going to compare marketing to networking, because that's the analogy we're going to use as we go through here. So let me ask you guys, if for all of those are your marketing, and you guys can just type it in, or you can say, I don't know how we do this, everybody muted or whatever, but what is the most, you guys tell me, what is the most powerful, effective marketing piece for your business? Who can tell me what their most powerful, effective marketing piece is for their business? Anybody want to share that?
So yeah, guys, this is gonna be laid back. So if you have a question, pop in, raise your hand, pop it in the comments. Eric says networking and the phones. And I think Joey, you may have raised your hand too.
Yeah, I've now lost the question, but in my head, I'm thinking either a referral or the way I speak to people directly, like how my language is, not what I say, but what they listen to.
Right. So basically the most powerful marketing piece is you. A lot of people, when I go talk to business owners or whatever, they always think, like if I ask them, what is the most powerful marketing piece you have? Well, it's my TV, it's my radio, or it's my postcards, whatever. No. The answer is you. You are the most powerful marketing piece for your business. It's you. All right. So my question to everybody is, how are you marketing you? Okay, so if that's your most powerful marketing piece, then how are you marketing you? Because the best way to market you is through networking. So that's the first concept is you have to understand is when you're networking, you are marketing you. Okay, so you are that ad, you are that postcard, you are that letter, you are that text, you are that TV commercial, you are that radio commercial, you are that piece, you're representing your business. And so what I want to do is if you own a business and you're doing networking, I'll use a letter campaign because this is the example I used back in 2017. If you're going to do a letter campaign, you don't just randomly say, I'm going to pick a zip code and send a bunch of letters out to these houses to try to get homes. You don't just randomly do that, right? What you do is you figure out who do you want to talk to, right? You determine a focus. Like if you want motivated sellers, okay, where do I find motivated sellers? So maybe you go, I'm going to market to probate, or maybe I'm going to market to out-of-state landlords that have over $100,000 of equity. Whatever it is, before you spent a dime on marketing, the first thing you did is figured out who you were going to market to, right? That's what everybody does. Networking is no different. That's the first thing you have to do is you have to determine where are you going to send that letter, you being that letter. I see too many people make a mistake that they just go to the networking meeting because it's convenient. So for example, like I encourage everyone to go to the Azreia, but at the same time, encourage you to get out there and go to other network meetings as well. And I'm going to share with you how to do that. But you need to go to the network meetings. And the first thing you got to do is think about what is it that you're trying to accomplish? Where should you go to represent and market your business? So for example, if you're out there and you want to raise funds, you know you're going to need money or whatever, you got to think about who has money. So maybe I go to country clubs, maybe I go to Kiwanis clubs, maybe I join that. So you got to literally sit down and think about, just like you would for a letter campaign, think about exactly what it is that you're trying to market to. And that's where you're going to find your network meetings. You got to go find those particular network meetings. So that's the first thing you got to do. The second thing you got to do is that when you send out letters, you don't just send out letters one time, right? You don't just send out letters to 10 homes one time and just sit back and rake in the dough, right? It doesn't work that way, right? So everybody know that studies show that you got to, depending upon the studies you look at, they got to see your letter basically 7 to 12 times before, generally speaking, before they even interact with you, right? Okay, networking is no different. So what I tell everybody and what I personally did is I decided to come up with a system where I was going to make sure I marketed myself consistently. So this is what I came up with at the end of 2015, that I was going to go to 4 network meetings a month for the next 12 months. So my goal is to basically go to a network meeting every single week for the next 52 weeks. That was literally what my goal was in 2016, was go to 1 meeting a week. And they were very targeted meetings, so I knew exactly what meetings I wanted to target, just like you would for a letter campaign. So once you come up with that, then when you send out a letter campaign or a postcard or whatever, you don't just randomly create a postcard, send it out and hope and pray it works, right? What you do is you look for the results and then you adjust accordingly. Do not change the letter, change the postcard and tweak it and develop it. Networking is no different. In fact, I consider the networking is a skill that you have to develop. So what I want to do is spend a few minutes talking about the skill of networking. So we know how to network, but it won't do you any good if you don't understand the skill of networking. And there is a skill to networking. And so I believe there's 4 parts to networking. So I'm going to break it down to 4 parts. The first part is, how do you approach someone? That's the first, is how do you approach someone? How do you actually approach someone properly? And this is even especially for introverts. Now, believe it or not, guys, I'm naturally an introvert. So now if you get me speaking in front of people or one-on-one or whatever, I'm fine. But you get me in a room full of strangers, I'm actually a natural introvert. And I know a lot of people are. And so a lot of people are afraid to approach people, whatever. So I'm going to share with you in just a minute how an easy, extremely easy way to be able to approach someone and to do that. So that's the first thing, you have to approach someone. The second thing you need to do is figure out how to, you have to learn how to generate a conversation. And more importantly, to keep it going. So not just start a conversation, but to keep it going. So we're going to go over that skill and how to do that. The third thing is how to connect. Guys, this is the secret sauce. This is the magic formula right here. Is you have to understand, the idea is not to go meet as many people as you possibly can. The goal is to make a connection. Okay, the goal is to make one connection. So I encourage you to stop trying to meet 20, 30 people and learn how to make one connection. So if you go to a network meeting, like when I went to a network meeting, my goal was to make one true connection. I didn't care about the other 50 people there. My goal was to make one connection. All right. And we're going to talk about how to do that and why to do that. So, but that's your goal, not to collect a bunch of business cards, make one connection. Then, and if you make one connection for 52 weeks, how many connections you've made at the end of that year? You made 52 connections. It's extremely powerful, and way more powerful than having 200 business cards that they don't even know who you are. Okay. So, and then last but not least, the fourth part of the skill is learning how to follow up and develop that connection. Because there's very specific things that you can do and should do to continue to develop that connection. So those are the four parts of the skill that we're going to cover. So let's jump into how to approach. Now, when you go to a network meeting, you already kind of know why you're there. There's a reason why you chose that network meeting. Now, I'm going to encourage you. Right now, everybody networks, as we talked about, because they want or need something. Well, if you create a system, you're going to get to the point where you don't want or need something. You're just going there to network. And that's when this really starts to kick in, because you now start determining the future of your business instead of reacting to the needs of the moment. So the key to this is you got to be consistent. You got to keep going to the network meetings. And then what you do when you get to network meetings, you're focusing on trying to make one connection. Don't be random. Pick one person out and you go try to make one connection with one person. And if the person you want to make a connection with, if they're talking in a group with like 3 or 4 other people, then you don't want to be that guy that just stands up behind the group and just listens. Okay, because you're kind of like that peeping Tom now, and then it's a little awkward. So now everybody's kind of looking at you, and it just kind of interrupts the whole conversation, right? So we all know that because we've all been in those conversations, or maybe you're the person that everybody's looking at. So you don't want to be that person. So what you want to do is just, if you're going up and they're talking, you just wait till there's a slight pause and you just politely ask, may I join you? I've never, in all my network meetings, and I've been 1,000 of them, never, not one time I've ever said, nobody's ever told me no. All right, so it's very easy, even for introverts, to just walk up to conversation, wait for a slight pause and ask, may I join you? And it's a very easy process right into the conversation. Okay, so now if you're talking to an individual, and or even if you feel like the need to talk in a group, all you have to do is, you're there at a network meeting, right? There's either a topic, there's either a speaker, or you're there as part of a group. That's a very easy topic to start with. So even for an introvert, if you're afraid to talk to people and stuff, just ask them, hey, what do you think about this topic? What do you think about the meeting tonight? What do you think about this group? What do you think about the speaker? What do you think about this Greg speaker guy? He's a total moron, right? So whatever it is, right? All you have to do is just leverage what it is that you're there for, and then just that's a very easy conversation to start. So that's the best way that I found to approach a conversation, to talk about why you're there in the first place, right? So then you move on to conversations. Now, the second part is to keep a conversation going. The number one thing you can do is just ask questions. That's all you have to do. Just genuinely care about the story. And we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But if you just genuinely care about them, just ask them questions. How long have they been in the business? How long have they come to this meeting? How long have they known so-and-so? How long have you been in real estate investing? All you have to do is ask questions. Don't feel the pressure that you even need to talk. All you have to do is ask questions, and anybody can do that. Anybody can just ask questions. I don't care who you are or how much of an introvert you are, you can ask questions. Anybody can compliment, right? Anybody, if you find a reason to compliment them, be genuine. Don't make up something like, hey, I like your shoes or something, right? Be genuine. Find a reason to compliment them that's genuine, something that you respect about them, something you appreciate about them that you just learned about it. Learn to compliment people, because people love compliments. The other thing is, always remember, what is the number one topic in the world that everybody loves to talk about? Does anybody know?
Themselves.
Bingo. Yep. This right here. Yep, I see. Mike was doing that. Yep. That is the number one reason. That is the number one topic everybody loves to talk about. Now, a reason a lot of the introverts get scared to talk or whatever, because they don't want to talk about themselves. Well, perfect. You don't have to. Just talk about the other person. So you just go up there. May I join you? Then you just ask them questions and allow them to talk about themselves. How long have you been real estate investing? How many deals have you done? How many have you done this? How do you raise your money? All you have to do is ask questions, and anybody can do that. And this is also a good skill to develop, especially if you're going to go meet out home sellers and everything else, because the more you do this, the easier it becomes. So it's very easy for you to start a conversation, very easy to keep a conversation going. However, this is the most important part right here, is you have to create a connection. The conversation means nothing if you don't create a connection, right? It's meaningless. It's just another conversation that you had, and it's going to be nothing different than a business card. So just because you went and spoke to someone and you talked to them for 20 minutes does not mean you made a connection, just means you had a conversation. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to learn how to create a connection. And so we're going to spend a few minutes about talking about how to create a connection with someone. So first foremost is that find a way to be helpful. If you can find a way to help someone, that usually helps tremendously. So you go in there to serve. How can I help this person? Now, I know a lot of people come back, well, I don't have anything to share. I'm brand new. You know, I'm nothing special. They've done way more deals than I have. They know a lot more than I do. Here's the piece that you're missing. If you're thinking that way, is that all of us, every single one of us, I don't care what your background is, have experience in something. Okay, so I'll give you a perfect example. So when I got into real estate investing, I came from McDonald's Corporation. What in the world does McDonald's have anything to do with real estate? I didn't have a freaking clue about real estate, right? Nobody wants to hear about McDonald's. Nobody cares about how to make a hamburger or anything like that. So that's exactly how I feel. It's like I have nothing to offer. However, what I learned is that the experiences that I had, learning the systems that McDonald's had, that was very important to other people. And I had no idea that that was something they would be interested in. So I don't care what your background is. You know, maybe you're a social media person. You know how you're really good on social media. What does that have to do with real estate? Well, I'll give you a perfect example. Like right now, I would love to have someone work with me on my social media to make it better, whatever, because I suck at it, right? So if you have that skill, that's something that would get my attention, even though you may think it's meaningless. So I'm telling you, I don't care what it is that your background is, what it is that you've done, you have something to offer, and you have to understand that. So you bring value. The other thing is that you got to learn personality types. You don't have to, but it's a great way to do this is learn the 4 personality types. We're not going to go over the personality types today because there's not enough time, but I encourage you to Google personality types, I encourage you to Google discs, that kind of stuff, and learn the personality types. What I do want to go over today, though, because this is very simple and easy to learn, and this is probably the most important piece I'm going to go over today, is that if you want to create a connection with someone, then you got to be able to do this right here that's on my screen right now. This is what you have to do, because you really have to do 2 things. You have to create a personal rapport and you have to create a professional rapport. You have to do both, all right? The personal rapport is the trust and the personal rapport is the competence, and you got to have both. Okay, so let me give you an analogy just so you guys understand why you got to do both, right? So let me put you in a situation. Let's say that your best friend that you've known since kindergarten, you grow up with them, you went to college with them, you've known them for the last 10 years. They've been going to law school and they basically been trying to get their, trying to pass the bar exam. It's taken them 10 times to pass the bar exam, but they finally pass, and they just become an attorney. Now, remember, you've known this person your whole life. Suddenly, you get accused of killing someone and you get thrown in jail. You are innocent, you know you're innocent, but your life, the rest of your life, depends upon you getting off. Are you going to be hiring your best friend that you've known your entire life that took 10 times to pass the bar exam and has been an attorney for 3 days? Are you going to put your life in his hands? I don't see anybody raising their hand on that. Now, because 90% of you are not going to put yourself in that situation, right? You trust him, but why are you not going to use him? Because he doesn't have the competence, right? You don't feel like he can competently do the job for you, even though you trust him with your life. He could be babysitting your kids. You're not going to use them. Does that make sense? Now, if you answered yes, I would use him, I already know what personality type you are just by you answering that question. So that's another reason why to learn personality types, because there is one personality type that may answer yes to that, but there's a way that you handle those. Now, let me reverse it. So you have a doctor, or no, you have a mechanic. So let's say you have a car mechanic. You know that the absolute best car mechanic in the world, everybody knows it. However, he's known to rip people off. Your car breaks down. Are you taking your car to this mechanic? No, right? Why? He's competent. He's the best car mechanic in the world. So why are you not taking your car to him? Because you don't trust him, because he may rip you off, right? So it's really, really important for you to understand. You got to have trust and you got to have competence. And this is what I know, is I know every single one of us is really good at one of these, and you really suck at the other one. Okay? And I know this because it's just like being right-handed or left-handed. Okay? You learned to do one of these since you were a kid. The other one you never did. Just like if you, let's say, like I'm right-handed. I learned how to write right-handed. I knew how to throw right-handed. So I'm really good if somebody asks me to do something with my right hand. But what happens the minute I put it in my left hand? You know, I can't throw worth a crap, and I can't sign anything worth a crap. Okay, this is exactly the same thing. One of these you are really good at, and the other one you are not, unless you've been purposely practicing that skill. So what you have to do is you have to figure out which one you're good at. We're going to go through each of them here in more detail. You have to figure out which one you're good at. You're naturally good at that one. You're going to have to spend time on the other one. You're going to have to develop that skill. You have to become ambidextrous, because if you don't become ambidextrous, you are not creating that connection, and you are not going to get the results that you desire. Does this make sense? Okay, I see heads nodding, so that's good. Okay, so let's break these down. So let's talk about the personal rapport. So how do you create personal rapport? So now, oh, by the way, there is a reason why I went through my introduction at the beginning. I told you there was a method to my madness. Now, if you notice, when I went through my introduction, I broke it down into two areas, didn't I? I broke it down into, oh, here's my personal life. And then I broke it down to, oh, here's my professional life, right? There is a reason I did that, because I know that some of you are going to be more on the personal rapport. And by me sharing my story personally, some of you just naturally, and you don't even know why, interacted more with me on the personal side than the professional side. And then there's some of you that connected more to the professional side, and you're like, I don't really care about your personal life. You're boring me. Why are you going through this right now? Right? So you connected, generally speaking, you probably connected more to one than the other. All right. So that's the one reason I gave that. There's a second reason, and I'm going to go over that now. Because if you want to create a personal rapport with someone, you want to create that trust with them, this is the quickest and easiest way to do it. Is you have to find, people will say you got to find something in common. I disagree with that. You got to find passions. Okay, you got to find something they're passionate about, not something you have in common. It doesn't matter. I mean, just because you're both in real estate doesn't mean you're passionate about real estate, right? That is, so don't think that just because you're talking about real estate, you're creating a personal rapport, because you're not. What you got to do is find out what they're passionate about. No, when I went through and I gave you my personal rapport, I basically told you what I was passionate about. And I know for 100% fact that when I was listing those things, if you were passionate about one of those things, you right now remember exactly what I said. If you weren't passionate about one of those things, you don't remember. Does that make sense? Because when I shared something that you were passionate about, it got your attention. Does that make sense? So find something they're extremely passionate about, and that's where you make the connection. That's the first connection you make. So when you're sitting there and you're asking them questions, don't just talk about real estate. What do you like to do outside real estate? What are your hobbies? Find something they are extremely passionate about, and then see if you share the same passions. Don't fake it. But if you can find something you're both passionate about, now you can talk all day long, because you love that topic, they love that topic, and now you're starting to get a big connection. Okay? So for example, like I'm a huge college sports fan. So if anybody comes to talk to me about college sports, I can literally talk to them about 3 hours about just college sports. Right? There is something that you are passionate about as well. What you got to do is, what are they passionate about, and see if it matches up. Now, I know that you have more than one passion, so just look for something you have in common, and that creates a connection. It also helps with the follow-up. So for example, let's say that, I'm not, but let's just pretend that I'm passionate about golf, and they're passionate about golf. So what would help with the follow-up? Go golfing, right?
Yep.
Don't think that when you go to these network meetings, it isn't about, guys, this isn't about going there to get money or getting deals. That's why I made it a point to say it's about going and creating connections with people. And you creating connections, you're sharing some of the passion. I'm doing deals today where I created connections with literally 6 years ago that I had no idea I was going to be doing deals with them. I'm going to tell you how to target those type of people. No idea I was going to be doing deals with them, but now I'm doing $1 million deals with these people, simply because I'm doing exactly what I'm sharing with you. I create a connection. We have something in common. We love talking about certain things together. So we have that personal rapport. And they don't even know that that's why they trust me. They just know. How many of you have ever met someone that you don't even know why, but you just like them? You know, we all have, right? The reason being is because you share similar passions. You just don't understand that's what's happening. You've also met people where you have met and you just don't naturally like them. You don't even know why, but they just rub you the wrong way, right? Because you don't share those passions. They think differently than you, and that's okay. So when you go there and you're looking for that one person to make a connection, what you're doing there is you're going there to you're fishing, right? You're fishing for people. Like if you go there and you feel like there's not a connection there in the first 2 minutes, you're wasting your time. There's no sense in even giving business cards, no sense in finishing that conversation. Move on. Because my goal is to make one connection every meeting. Does this make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So find whatever their hobbies are. Maybe they love kids. Like my wife is crazy about pets. You start talking about animals, and I got to leave the conversation because I'm no longer a part of it, because now the next 3 hours is going to be about animals. Okay. So find something you have in common. You also want to create shared experiences. What that means is, for example, like if you're going at a network meeting, what I highly encourage you to do, and I did this a lot, if there was someone that you create a connection with, take another meeting immediately afterwards. Go to a restaurant, go to an Applebee's. Like here in Indiana, there's an Applebee's right next to where they do the Nicaea meeting. It's similar to Azreia. It's a local RIA meeting here in Indiana, and that will be tomorrow night. So what happens is I made a habit of every time I go to the meeting, I made sure that I went to at least with at minimum one person, sometimes it was 2 or 3, I went with them to the Applebee's afterwards. And then you have a shared experience with them. You're sitting there, you're talking about passions, you're talking about things. And it's not just about, hey, what deals you have, what money you have, I have money. You're not going to get deals that way, guys. I mean, you may get 1 or 2, but I'm here to tell you how to get $100,000, not get 1 or 2 deals. Okay. If you want $100,000 in your networking, this is how you do it. Okay. Go create shared experiences. If you go to a network meeting, you go to a conference out of state, I can't tell you the number of people that go there and they learn, and then they go up to the hotel room and watch TV and go to bed or whatever. That is just the dumbest thing ever. That is such a waste of money. You go, even if you don't, I'm not a big drinker, so I don't even drink. I'll just sit there and drink water. So, but I will still go to the bar and hang out with people because I'm there to create connections. Everything I have in my life, I will tell you right now, I'm going to share the results at the very end of this. Everything, almost like 99% of everything I have in my life is what I just told you right now, is creating shared experiences at bars, at conferences across this country. I can pick up the phone right now. I literally have several hundred contacts pretty much anywhere across this country that I can make a call and I know someone there or have a connection there where I can do stuff. Does this make sense? It's about creating connections. You don't need anything. You're there to help people. You're there to make a connection. So create shared experiences. So that's the trust part. Now, some of you are naturally going to be good at this. Like my wife is fantastic about this. Okay. I'm more the professional side. This part I had to develop because I was one of those, and some of you are probably out there, work is work, life is life, right? I separate the two. When I'm at work, I'm all work, and I don't want to hear about your personal life. Okay. Well, I learned that was a bad idea, and you can't do that. So, because if you got to create their trust, you've got to go there. Okay. Now let's talk about the other side. Let's talk about competence, because for some of you, this is what you're going to have to work on. If you want to create competence with people, they have to not just trust you, but they have to know that you're capable of doing the job if they're going to hire you, or they're capable of that you're going to deliver if they're going to partner up with you, or whatever it is, right? So what you need to do is, and it's not bragging, by the way, so don't be, brag, I did this and did this, but you do have to find a way to share your experiences, both positive and negative. Okay, so let me tell you a little story, because I know a lot of people, and I was one of them. I'm guilty as charged. Some of you only want to share your positive stories because, well, if I share a bad experience, then they're not going to want to do business with me because I look like an idiot, right? Okay, I felt exactly that when I filed for bankruptcy in 2010. I was this big shot. I thought I was as big. I thought I was on top of the world, and now here I am, dead ass broke, filing for bankruptcy, borrowing money from my parents. I didn't know what, and it was embarrassing, right? I didn't want anybody to know that at first. So I was trying to keep it secret. But then I was like, then I figured out, you know what? I just got to share it because I can't hide this. Do you know that the minute I started sharing that story, it actually helped me more than it hurt me? Because now I can share that. Because of that experience, I learned to never do this again. right? So I learned from that experience. So don't be afraid to share your failures, and actually it will help with the connection. Okay, so share your successes, share your failures, not bragging, but you find a way to do it into the story. Share the current deals that you're doing again, and be very specific. This is probably the number one way for people for just naturally, and they don't even understand or realize what's going on. If you really want to come across as extremely competent, be as specific as you can with your details. You don't want to say, yeah, I'm flipping a lot of houses and I'm making some good money or that kind of stuff. No, be specific. Like when you're, without bragging, you slide into the conversation. You know, they ask you, how are things going? It's like, yeah, man, I got 7 flips going on right now and they're just crazy busy. I got like 5 of them at this point. I got 2 of them over here. I got these 3 over here. Do you see how I'm being very specific? I'm not just saying I have a bunch of flips going on, I'm busy. The more details you get, and by the way, there's scientific studies that prove this, like psychology studies that I could show all day long, but the more specific details you give, the more competent you come across. So you don't want to say that, you know, on my flips, I average about $30,000, whatever it is, because that sounds too generic. So what you want to say, even if you don't know the exact details and you know you can be close, I'm going to say, right now I'm averaging about $28,800 a flip. Okay, because they will naturally, they hear 30,000, they don't know whether or not to believe that or not. Right? The minute you say I'm averaging $28,800 a flip, now, oh, this guy knows his numbers. He's really confident. He's on top of things. Do you see how that makes a huge difference? So scientifically proven, be as specific as possible. I've done this many deals. Like when I share my story here, I tell everybody it's not bragging, but when they ask me, like, what are you doing? What have you done in Indiana? I'll tell them, well, I purchased about 230 homes through the tax sales here. Right? I'm giving a very specific number because that's what I've done. I don't want to say I purchased a couple hundred homes. I purchased 230 homes because it's a very specific number. Does this make sense? Okay. So create a connection personally, create a connection through competence, very specific details. And then last but not least, the 4th step as far as a skill is you got to learn how to follow up. You got to be the one in charge. Don't allow them to be in charge. You know, whatever it is that your passion is, that's what I encourage you to do. You know, a lot of people want to go to coffee at lunch, or people, you know, can I take you out to lunch and pick your brain? That's the worst thing you can do, guys. Don't ever do that. You know, because like I get that all the time. Can I take you out and pick your brain? You know what I hear when someone says that? I'm just telling you what I hear. I'm hearing like, yeah, you want to go waste my time and see what you can get out of me. That's what I hear. So don't do that, guys. That's such a waste of time. You're going there to serve. How can you help them, or how can you share an experience? Like if you know, I'll give you an example. You know I love college sports. And if you love college sports, don't invite me to coffee or lunch. Invite me to a freaking college football game, even if it's to go watch it somewhere or something. Now we're talking, right? Does this make sense? If you guys like to golf, go golfing. Whatever it is that you love to do or they love to do, whatever hobbies it is, that's what you go do. You don't go have coffee and pick their brain. That's the worst thing you can do. It's not going to go very far for you, okay? Connect on social media. Follow up with them on social media. And put in some kind of system. Like what I did is I always wanted to follow up with them at a minimum of every 60 to 90 days. Again, I don't want anything. I don't need anything from these people at all. I'm just creating connection. And then every 60 to 90 days, it pops up on my schedule at a minimum that I'm going to give them a text. I'm giving them a call. Hey, I was just thinking about you. Or, you know, again, going to college football. Hey, I just watched this great game. Did you catch this game? And I'll just send them a post randomly, just like that, if they love college football. Does that make sense? So whatever it is, just randomly and talk about that. All you're doing is creating connection, because now they know who you are. They're going to remember you and talk about business to create the professional side, but keep the connection on the personal side. And it's amazing what happens. All right. What the other thing you want to try to do is every event I went to, not only would I try to make one new connection, it was successful if I made one connection, but I also always try to make one reconnect. So when I would go to the RIA meetings, and I go to every single one when I'm in town. When I go to the RIA meetings, this is exactly what I do. I go try to make one new connection, and I try to find somebody that I already have a connection with that I may have not seen recently, and I'll go reconnect with them, and I'll go speak to them for a few minutes and reconnect. Right? I'm going to reconnect with them on their passions or how their business going or whatever it is. There's a reconnect there because you want to stay reconnected to everybody. Okay? create new shared experiences. Okay, I'm literally going. I'm actually going to a college. I know we're beating a dead horse with this name, but I'm actually going, and we just booked like 3 days ago. I'm going with someone to a college football game in October to Mississippi. So we're going to go see a Mississippi game at their stadium because they're very passionate about college football. I'm very passionate. We've done some business together. We're not really doing anything now, but just to reconnect. So we're going to share that experience just to reconnect and go have some fun. Okay. So there you have it. There's the four skills that you really need as far as networking. That's how you approach someone. That's how you generate conversation. That's how you connect, which is the most important part, and then follow up and develop a connection. Here's some other miscellaneous tips real quickly, is that always focus on positive people. Don't hang out with negative people. They'll just drain you of your drain you of your energy. So if you go up to somebody and they're not a positive, if you hear them complaining within the first 60 seconds you meet, like me personally, I won't go talk to someone that's complaining because I can't stand listening to negativity. You know, talk to me about solutions, not problems, right? So I'm off to the next person because I already know they're wallowing in self-pity and that kind of stuff. So here's another trick that I learned from doing this, is that when you go to an event, and if it's like more than a 1-day event, like it's a 2 or 3 day event, human beings always sit in the same damn seats. I don't know why, but they do. Every day, wherever they sit the first day, they're going to sit there the second day, and they're going to sit there the third day. So what I learned real quickly by going to these events is I will move my seat because my goal is to create at least one connection every day. So the first day I'd sit here, the second day I'd sit exactly on the opposite side of where I was sitting the day before, so I'd create a new connection. Because otherwise, you're just going to be sitting around the same people you're sitting with for all 3 days. Does this make sense? So if I went to a 3-day event, I wanted at least 3 connections out of that. So move your seat. Okay, it's amazing how that works. The other thing is, don't be afraid of influencers and speakers. I will talk about this for a couple minutes, and I'm going to share a story. So when you get to a point where you don't need anything, now I understand right now you may need money, you may need deals or whatever, and this works for that as well. But you want to get to a point where you just go focus on influencers and speakers. And this is what will really skyrocket your business, is this right here. If you can connect, because this is what I started focusing on. I started focusing on the speakers and the influencers whenever I went to a group. I didn't focus on individuals. I started focusing on these people. So let me share a story. I told you I was going to a college football game in October with someone. Okay, that someone is someone that I met at the RIA at Azria. I met there in November of 2012. He came and he spoke on stage at the RIA. He's a huge college football fan. We share similar stories. He was sharing on stage, and I was like, man, I want to connect with this dude. Okay, and this is even before I even set all this up in 2016. His story just influenced me so much that I want to connect with him. I sat there in that celebrity theater until every single human being left there, and it was just me and that speaker. I went up and introduced myself. We became friends. He introduced me to some other business opportunities. Long story short, here it is. 8, 9, 10, literally 10 years later, we have a really good friendship. We do deals back and forth all the time at a national level. He's connected me, I've connected him. And when you're connected with people that are influencers and have lots of people, know a lot of people across the country, you can actually start helping a lot more people as well. So now I have the opportunity to, when I go meet someone new, I get their story, I find out what they want, how can I help you? Well, I'd really like to do this, or like, okay, well, let me pick up the phone because I now have people that I can call and make connections with. I can help you with this, I can help you with that, I can help you with this, because I've focused all my time and energy on the influencers and the speakers. So don't be afraid of them, guys. I know it may be a little intimidating when you're first starting out, so maybe wait a few months if they really intimidate you. But what you're going to learn is if you know how to do this and do it properly, like the way I taught you, they're going to enjoy you a lot more than 90% of the other people that they speak with. I'm telling you that. So like when I go speak at an event, like I just spoke at the Indiana State RIA through networking 2 months ago. You know, of course, every time someone speaks, you get that rush of everybody comes up and they want to talk to you, they share business cards and everything like that, or whatever. But it's the individual that sits there and tries to make a connection with me, and everybody feels the same. They're the ones that actually get that relationship and get that business going forward. Does this make sense? Okay. And then you get to the point where you start to get known. It's like you become, hey, I can help people. Okay. I also encourage you, be real, be unique, be yourself. You are special and you're gifted just the way you are. Don't be afraid to be you. and just go inspire others. People love to be inspired. So inspire others. If you inspire others, okay, be consistent. Do it when nothing is needed. It's your opportunity to grow. Oh, here's another good idea. Create your own network meeting. When you get to the point, like create your own network meeting. If you can't find something that you're passionate about or something that you desire to do, or you want to meet other people similar to you, create your network meeting. Like we created a new network meeting literally this year. Well, in November of last year, we created a new network meeting because I really wanted to meet with people or work with people and talk to people that wanted to help others, that wanted to make a difference in the world. So we started a network meeting. We call it the Tip Club. And so what we do is we meet the last Thursday of every single month. And we just basically just people that just go hang out. We eat dinner, we talk, we pay our food, we pay our bill. But then every party brings $100 bill, and we put all that together and we give it to the waitress. And they get anywhere from the lowest we've done is $400, and the most we've done is $2,700. And even if it's $400, $2,700, they all end up crying. Right? So, because it's just, they can't believe it. It's just an awesome feeling, whatever. So, but I created that network meeting because I wanted to be hang around other people that just wanted to have a fun and just wanted to give back and show some appreciation and make a difference in the world. So the only reason I share that is you can create your own network meeting, do whatever the hell you want, and you will love it and you will enjoy it. Like I look forward to that every month because it's just fun. Okay. So, and you'll do it if you enjoy it. So, and so let me get to numbers. I know you guys all want the numbers, so let me share it with you because this is the cheapest budget you will ever have. In any marketing that you do, this is going to be your cheapest budget with the absolute highest return. I can promise you that. I don't care what you do. This is going to be by far your number one moneymaker, okay? So here's my numbers that I shared back there up to, so from 1999 through 2010, I basically did no networking. From 2010 through 2014, I basically did no networking campaign. So I did some networking. I did pretty much what everybody else does, just go try to meet people, etc. I decided to put this together at the end of 2015. So during the course of 2016, I went to 4 network meetings a month. I spent 8 to 10 hours a month doing nothing other than network meetings. That was my commitment, and I did that. I went back and I was able to directly attach between the money I raised, between the deals I did. I was able to directly attach $100,000. If I remember correctly, it was like $106,000. I was able to attribute $106,000 just from going to 4 network meetings and doing exactly what I just showed you. That's what I got out of that. If you do the math, that's over $1,000 an hour. How many of you would like to network if you knew you were making $1,000 an hour?
That's huge.
Right. So just do what I just told you, and you take it seriously, develop those skills, create one connection every meeting, then anybody can do this, guys. This isn't rocket science. Every single one of you can do this. Now, here's the thing. These are the numbers I did not have back then because I told you I did this back in 2017. So these are the numbers I did not have. So from 2016 through 19, I continue to do 4 network meetings a month. I just did it. I stopped in 2019. I only go to 1 or 2 a month now. After I share these results now, prepping for this, I'm going back to the 4 because this is crazy. I can't believe I stopped because this is kind of what I have today. So right now, I was able to attribute literally almost everything I have today is to network. I could not find anything I don't have today that didn't go back to some person that I networked with since 2016. I literally could not. Everything I own right now, every rental property I have, with the exception of like less than 10, and I have several dozen rental properties. And every single one of them was basically I got through networking. All the money I raised was through networking. My education company that I have right now was through networking. The software deal that I'm signing right now was through networking. The book that I wrote was through a famous author. I can't name his name yet, but a famous author taught me how to write the book, and he's going to do the forward in my book. And all of you are going to know his name that it has anything to do with real estate was through networking. I was flabbergasted when I sat there and do this. I was going to rename it, but then I was like, now it sounds too good to be true. But it was like, I literally made millions of dollars doing this. Millions, guys. And I'm not exaggerating. I've made millions of dollars doing what I just told you right now. Just in the last 3 years, I've flown in someone's private jet through networking. I've been on 2 yachts. I was invited there through networking. I've gone on multiple vacations with other people. I was just in Rocky Point, literally, 6 weeks ago, staying at someone's condo. Networking, guys, I was blown away when I went through there and update. When Mike asked me to do this, I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just do what I did in 2017. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to update this. And I sat down and started doing this. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. It's like, I don't have a life outside of networking. It's like, I got to get back to 4 a month. So what I just told you guys, I'm going back to doing. I'm literally going to one tomorrow because I inspired myself to go do this again. So I can't even imagine what I'm going to blow my business up to now. But I promise you guys, you do this, anybody can do this. And you just focus on it, keep doing it. You will have amazing results that you're going to be able to 12, 24, 36 months from now. You'll be shocked. Because the other thing, oh, by the way, the other thing is network more. Once you start getting comfortable at the local level, start networking at a national level, because that's where most of this started coming from. Because every time I went to conferences, I started going to a lot of conferences and masterminds. I just started focusing the same principles, one connection a day, and I created a connection, and that's how I got all my national connections. I mean, I got connections all over the place, and I didn't even realize it just kind of became a habit. Anyway, I'm sorry. But so anyway, now what? I'm inspired. Like I said, it's crazy to me that I was able to do this just through networking. So now what? So basically, just do it, guys. Create a campaign, stick with it. Whether it's 3 a month, 4 a month, whatever it is you want to do, develop your networking skills. That's the key, though. If you don't develop those skills, you can go to as many network meetings as you want, and it's not going to matter. You have to develop those networking skills. Practice. Create a thriving business. Thank you. I hope this is helpful, and I'll answer any questions.
Love it, Greg. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, let's. I know. Yeah. Anyone have questions? We got people on Facebook, Instagram, here in the Zoom call. So Greg will stick with us for a few minutes, and we can ask a few questions. I know we went over an hour, so if you have to go, we totally understand. So let's see. Yes, and for the recording, if you registered, so we'll email this to you if you like the recording. Also, you can see that this is being recorded on our Facebook page. So go to Azreia Facebook page. You can watch the replay as well. Anyone on Zoom here have a question or comment or want to share something? Just feel free.
Great presentation, Greg. Big fan over here.
Thank you. Thanks for joining, Garrick. Garrick does our income property owners subgroup every month, talking about networking meetings. Azreia has anywhere from 5 to 15 events a month. So one of those 4, I would appreciate you come through. Definitely check out Garrick as well. And Greg, are you going to be in Arizona in August?
Unfortunately, no.
No. Okay.
So I will be, nope. I will be here, and then I'll be in San Diego for 3 weeks on vacation.
Love it, man. Always on vacation. I gotta network, man. I gotta pick up my networking. Yeah, no, great, man. Greg, thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it. I love your passion towards this. We definitely love having you here at Azreia. We do this every Wednesday. We're gonna have a new guest speaker, Not Another Lunch and Learn. It's on Facebook. Register on Azreia.org to get the invite for the Zoom link if you'd like. Yeah. Hey, if no one has any questions, I want to, give. If we were all in a room, we'd be clapping right now, Greg. So,
Yeah, I mean, I just learned something. I'm a networking peeping Tom, and I network a lot, and I just charge into groups, and I've never asked. So next time I'll ask.
Love it. You learned something. Love it. Thanks for sharing, Garrick.
Yeah, I will be in town this coming next Thursday if anybody wants to join us for the tip club, if you want to be a part of that. So it doesn't cost anything. There's no topic. It's literally, we just go eat and just talk. And then every party brings $100, and then we give it to the waitress. We present to them at the end. So if you want to share that, I'll be there.
Can you share the details? Like, so next Thursday, what time, where?
Yeah, it's always 6. It's the last Thursday of every month at 6 p.m. We don't announce the location, so they need to ask for that, because we don't want that out. So that way the restaurant and the waitress don't know we're coming, because we don't want them to know we're coming. So if you just, they changed. I can't go backwards on my slides.
How do we get in touch? Yeah. How do we follow you? How do we direct message you to get the details?
Yep. I'm going to send an email to Kim@togethersavingcause.org. She organizes that, and she'll just instantly email you the details I don't even know where we're going, to be honest, until I drive there that day. So she takes care of it's always somewhere around Tempe Marketplace within like a couple miles, because that's centrally located and anybody can get there within 35 to 40 minutes wherever you're at. So it's always somewhere around there. And it's always some local, it's always locally owned. We try to make sure it's locally owned restaurants. So we're giving back to actual owners of restaurants and not to, national chains type thing.
Awesome. And yeah, so email Greg if you'd like to attend. You can go to gregslaughter.com. And I think you have a lot of free recorded videos for everyone just to learn some real estate as well, right, Greg?
Yeah, if they go to, you could go to, if they want to know about self-managing your rentals, you can go to gregslaughter.com. You can also go to selfmanagingyourrentals.com, and there's free videos there. I give all kinds of stuff, hints there.
Hey, Garrick, have you had Greg to your group yet?
Oh, absolutely, man. He came and talked about his property management classes and the way that he does his setup in Indiana. It's like, I mean, we're 100% going to have you out again. So the stuff he does, I talk about all the time because I don't do it. And you have such an innovative view on how to manage properties. It's like, it's so cool.
Oh, thanks.
So if you don't check him out at our group at Azria, I mean, go to his website about managing property management, because it's a really innovative way. I've incorporated a ton of what I've learned from your presentation into my business.
Awesome.
Love it. That's great. That's what it's all about. I love it. All right. So we had a question. Where do we find the recording? Once again, it's going to be on Facebook. And if you registered with Azreia, you'd get an email with the recording. But like I said, you could also go to the Facebook page to get that. Name of the website. What's the name of the website for real estate property management? Is it gregslaughter.com?
You can go to gregslaughter.com, but the free videos and everything is selfmanagingyourrentals.com.
Selfmanagingyourrentals.com.
Yep.
Awesome. Perfect. All right, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Head over to Azreia.org. We'd love to have you part of the community. We now have forums. Talking about networking really quick, we just added a forum section where we have a bunch of different topics. You can post your properties. You put all our haves and wants are in there. So that's another way to just pick up the phone and meet people. So check that out as well. We'll be here next Wednesday at 12. And we'll sign off on Facebook and Instagram. And Greg, if you go stay on for 1 minute as we wrap up.
Okay.
And we're all done. Thanks everyone for being here.